Hey everybody, this is Jacob with Mortgage Coach Software Support. This walkthrough is going to be a tutorial on how to do the cost of waiting presentation. Now, a cost of waiting presentation is just a basic total cost analysis comparison that you're showing a couple of different purchase options to your client, and so it's a way to get them off the fence because you're going to show them the potential waiting for a couple of months for a price drop, but the rate could go up at the same time, and we'll show them a couple of different options that'll show them, hey, the longer you wait, the more chance there is for things to go wrong. So we need to get on the bandwagon now and start doing it. So here's what you do. Now I've purposely skipped the first couple of screens here, but I'll show you what I've done. I've checked Get My First Home, so I know this is going to be a purchase, and this person's a renter as it is, so I've put in their rent and their annual rent increase and so forth. And then getting to the product screen, now we're going to put in our product. This is just going to be traditional financing if they bought right now. So I'm going to call this one Buy Now. And if you've got a template that you want to be able to use, go for it. Go ahead and use your template. In this case, I'm going to do an FHA loan. And let's say that their purchase price right now is $200,000. And we're going to have them put down 3.5%. Now the interest rate they can get right now, let's say we can get them 4 3/4. And then we're going to do this for a 30-year term. Of course, you want to put in your associated closing costs, any points you're charging, prepaids if they're necessary, any non-APR costs, and seller contributions that might come into play. And remember, this is an FHA loan, so we want to make sure and put in the upfront MIP. And this one's going to be 1%, and I'm going to finance it into the loan amount. Now, of course, because it's an FHA loan, make sure and put the MI in here, but I'm going to put the hazard and taxes in it as well. And then for the mortgage insurance, we're going to use 0.9. Now remember, on FHA loans, it's got to go both the 60 months and then it goes to the LTV. So we want to make sure and put these both in. The LTV cutoff is 78%, but we want to make sure it goes 60 months first, so we'll do that. And if you want to make the MI tax deductible, go ahead and check the box here. Now I've input the Buy Now option. We're going to put 3 more options in here. So I'm going to put Add Another Product. This is going to bring up a new one, and instead of redoing all the work, I'm just going to copy from. I'm going to copy from that first product, the Buy Now product. I'm going to call this one Wait for Drop. And this is going to assume they waited 2 months, and let's say the price dropped to 190. But in that same 2-month waiting period, it could have gone up potentially a full point. So I'll put 5.75 for my rate. Now, I don't need to make any other adjustments here because I copied it over. My upfront MIP is already there, my closing costs are there, and my taxes and insurance are already there. So we won't need to do anything there. We can move along to the next product now. We're going to hit Add Another Product. Now, product 3 is going to be what happens if they waited for a couple of months, the price didn't go down, but the rate still went up. So we're going to call this one, let's call this No Drop. And then we'll copy from again. I'm going to copy the Buy Now one more time. So I'm going to leave the purchase price the same, so we're not dropping it here, but I'm going to increase the rate. Okay, so now we've got a third option going, and we don't need to fill any of this out because it's already done. We'll add another product. There's one more thing we want to show them. We want to show them an absolute worst case. So a worst case here. Again, we're just going to copy from the Buy Now. And then what we'll do is instead of, they waited for 2 months here, instead of getting a price decrease, we're going to show them an increase. They waited too long and the price actually went up. And at the same time they waited, that rate went up. Oops. There we go. And so now you can see we've got 4 different options against each other, and you can see the payments over here on the right. We've got $14.52 for the monthly PITI on a Buy Now option. The potential worst case, and this is only a $10,000 difference in price and a 1-point rate increase, nets them a $16.51 payment. So we're looking at a $200 increase just from waiting the 2 months potentially here. Now this report is pretty much done. All you've got to do now is get to the presentation area and then decide how you're going to deliver it. Now if you've not entered the contact information, of course you want to make sure and go to the contact area, enter their info here so it shows up on your report. But let me get you to the presentation so you can see what this looks like. I'm going to bring up an email link. Alright, now this is the cost of waiting presentation for a renter. And you can see that we've got their current rent, which is $1,500. And we're doing the rent versus principal paid and then rent versus principal paid for the short and long term here. So you can see that this is just, this part here speaks for itself. Obviously they're throwing money away on the rent side, but they're gaining money on the ownership side. But the important part here, because this is a cost of waiting, we want to show them, okay, you're paying $1,500 now. If you buy now, you can go down to 892, but if you wait a little bit, it's going to keep ramping up. So things could potentially get pretty bad. And obviously, if your home value is a lot higher, you're going to see a bigger disparity in these numbers. But when you're all done with this is ready to go. You can actually copy this link if you want to, and then paste that into a new email and send this out to your client, and you're ready to roll. Any questions on this, feel free to contact support@mortgagecoach.com. We'd be happy to help. Thank you much, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.